So, is it streaming to both? I can't even fucking tell. It just keeps saying Facebook needs to reconnect. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't. It should be done. Because apparently it can't connect to the Twitch API. So apparently it can't stream to Twitch. Or some other bollocks like that. Let's see. Oh, piss off upgrading your plan. Fuck you. Right, so apparently I'm streaming to YouTube. Let's see if it'll stream to Twitch. Come on. Not that I give a shit about Twitch. People watch me on there, fair enough. If you don't, then fair enough there too. Nothing's working. Ugh, fucking hell. Had to be today, didn't it? Had to be on this day. Oh, it is streaming. No. Okay, apparently I'm streaming on Twitch as well. Fair enough. Let's get this show on the fucking road then. Get ready for some fun. Why is it lagging so much? There should not be this much lag. What's going on? Oh no, it's all been ruined. What's going on? Why have we got so much lag? Oh, that's why. Alright. Oh, right. You should be able to recognise the room. You should be able to hear the music. And you should see that this is in VR. Because I've been working on this in my spare time. So, it's just a small project. I don't intend to... And you can also hear the sound steps as well if I just go like that. The problem is, though, if I do a mad dash, because everything, I'm still working on stuff at the minute. So a lot of this is still experimental. Especially with VR, because, as you'll see, try and go for a freaking door. Come on, let me in. There we go. So, you can see that I haven't got anything in here yet, because the idea was I was supposed to have every single weapon from the game in here, and then it was supposed to be that. So the only weapon I've got is the pistol from Resident Evil 2, which, as you'll hear, has the sound effect, has the muzzle flash, has over-exaggerated the size bullet casings, but that's just because I'm still adjusting to it. But again, this is me walking around it in VR, so, and you'll still hear the sound effects. Again, I'm still trying to work on that, and that's ballsed up. That's because I'm still experimenting with doors, because they're the worst thing to try and do in VR. But this is what it's like looking in VR in the warehouse. Now, you're probably wondering, because I am actually sat down, so basically if I stand up, this is going to obviously look a little bit weirder. I should really be standing up when I'm doing this, shouldn't I, really? So, yeah, I can look over. I can nearly hit the fucking TV, because I'm looking right over there, but you get the point. I can shoot bullets that do destroy on a certain time, so, you know. But as you can see, there's no lag. Not much lag at all, but there is no lag. Because this is how you actually develop a fucking game. And not that bullshit that they were like half-assing you with these shitmakes that come out. Not that I'm trying to remake things, I've said this a million times, I have no intention of remaking Resident Evil 3. I'm sick and tired of people going on about, oh, we're going to remake it in Unreal 5, this is in Unreal 4, go fuck yourself, I don't give a shit. So yeah. Not everything's here, because I just haven't had the time. That's still got a texture I need to find, even though the texture was loaded in. I don't have the freaking thing where you get the bullets from. But then again, it's just because I'm doing this in VR. That's the primary reason why I've got this up. So, yeah. There's no ammo counter yet, because again, I'm still experimenting with VR with this. Ideally, I was trying to do RE4 VR, where you'd press back on the MetaQuest thing, and that would 180 turn you, which I'm going to work on in an update. But yeah, I got a MetaQuest. and I've been VRing and got too involved in VRing, and it's gotten to a point where I've started putting all of this into a VR environment so I can actually, you know, walk around it, look around it, sprint around it, even though I didn't get that sprint button, hide behind a wall, cap a few zombies if I wanted to, without falling over my cable. Yeah, this is not like the first thing I've ported. I've done a lot of other porting, I'll probably show them in a minute, but this is kind of like starting points of a VR style thing. So again, it's going to be weird because again, I didn't get the door frames properly, and as you can tell, I'm about to hit the fucking door frame because again, when I developed this, I wasn't thinking about standing up, so... But on the plus side, the door should just completely and utterly open into the alley. Oh, I've got to put the fucking door on you, didn't I? So yeah, this is September 28th, 1998. In a completely different way. And yeah, the fucking sound steps. I've really got to get that fixed. I know how to do it, but at least when I'm walking, at least, you know, I'm going upstairs. I'm not fucking falling through the environment. I'm not having lag hit me. Yeah. True story, when I first played the actual game, this is as far as I got, and then I switched it off, and it's all because of this bloody ambience you can hear. All because of that freaking ambience. But yeah, this is like, I've partied like 3 rooms into one. I still need to tweak it because again, size doors, actually that's not too bad compared to my size standing up, but I developed it all sitting down rather than standing up, so you know, it's... And the fact that I'm now going through my frigging Guardian doesn't help either, but you get the picture. So everything's been built, the collisions are all custom. I can't fall through the environment. Oh wait, can I do it there? No, I'm not doing it there. Oh yeah, it's because I didn't put the door there so I can walk in there. Obviously I can put my hand through bloody things, and then you've got like... No, you can't ride the bike. I'm not that advanced yet. But as you can see, you know, I can blast things. The bullets are oversized because I'm still figuring out scale. Last time I had them too small so you couldn't even bloody see them, but again, give them a minute, they get destroyed. I can respawn because that's how you develop stuff. You don't want the bullets to keep going and going and going. I was going to actually implement Jill's hands from Remake, but I never got round to it. I never got the time because I was too busy getting all this imported and collisioned, and I still didn't get that bloody texture imported. You see what I mean? It's like I'm still trying to get stuff in, but obviously the advantage of me doing it is because I have all the master files. It wasn't a case of import mesh from the internet, have everything built up, then build the fucking collisions. Everything is built up as collisions. Everything here is collisioned. And because it's only built like loading one instance of one of these assets in the Unreal Engine, and the other ones are just going off that one instance, it's properly optimised, unlike people who are like, ooh, import the fucking whole mesh and then fuck around with it. So yeah, all these are individual meshes, nothing's combined. The forklifts are untextured. I couldn't find the texture in time. I know where it is, but unfortunately I never got it textured in time or got the texture imported. I'll probably do that in an update. But this is the starting point of it, really. Not that I'm doing a full fucking remake of 3. I'm only doing bits and pieces of VR because I might even do 1.5 in it. I might even go and do 2 revisited in it because I've been going on about that for fucking months, but I'm debating it at the minute. And if people are leaving comments, bear in mind, I can't read them, I've got my headset on. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show this. There is a few other things I'll be showing, but again, I can put the gun down because again, it's physics. And the only thing I can't do is swing it in the air and grab it because I haven't figured that thing out yet. So there won't be any knife throwing, and being a long time comrade, stuff from RE4. I have got the knife in, it just doesn't do anything, no. Well, hang on, does that actually... Ah, I didn't know the light came off it like that. Oh well, I'm learning something new even when I've done it. So yeah. It's only doing it because of this sphere of music, audio, shit in the ceiling, and I'm actually touching my actual ceiling now. So the problem with when you do stuff like this in VR, you forget about your own boundaries. So sometimes I've nearly fallen over my own chair doing this. Oh fucking, I'm too tall for this, aren't I? I'm gonna have to upgrade the scale for standing out for VR. I mean, I know I'm 5'11", but this is ridiculous. There's no enemy AI because obviously I've got no enemy in yet. But I might have something to show in a minute. Obviously, there's nothing out there. I haven't got that far. Well, that's a lie. I've got that far. I just want to get as many of these rooms ported as possible. Why is that shooting going through the wall there? There should be a collision there. That's all collision. This is all done. There is no jump button because we don't need a fucking jump button in Resident Evil. We need a climb button, but then again, it's a case of I'm still getting used to the VR controls because, again, this is sprinting. You don't want to be able to sprint. You want to be able to just nice, peaceful walk. Look over there, take a few pot shots, nearly smash your TV up without even realising it. So yeah, this is just one of the rooms. I'm going to show a couple of more stuff, you just bear with me and I'll get on with those. Oh shit. So I need to check as well if anyone is. It says the Twitch API isn't responding still, so that's a bit disappointing. Anyway, next one, let's save that. We'll go to the Boulevard. Let's show that one because that technically is the next progression, so let's show you this one and let you have a little chuckle at it like I have. So I think it's working in the stream. Let me just check because I don't want to be disappointing people if it isn't. No, that's showing the Unreal editor, isn't it? Why is it not showing that? Right, bear with me because that should not be showing that. It should be showing. Why is this on window capture? That's it. So, next one. My eyeballs can see. I've had to take my glasses off and then put this on because of the pure sake. Can't see shit otherwise. So as you can tell, that's outside of the warehouse. So this was actually one of the first rooms I ported. That's a lie, this is the second room I ported. So you can tell where we're at. We're in the Boulevard. And as you can tell, I've got the knife here, but the knife doesn't do anything because I haven't functionally put it in yet. But the pistol does, because the pistol still shoots. And yes, poor old Leon there does get hit with collisions. So, oh, I've still got the sound effect, but that's because of the script, isn't it? So, you can all guess where we're at. We're on the Boulevard now, and as you can probably tell, why is this acting so weird? I've got no collisions with you. As you can tell, I've got some very basic enemy AI in here, but I haven't done anything with it yet. It's just animation and I need to rig it properly before it can do anything, but eventually that'll be an RE3 zombie. I've just had to use that one as a building block. I think it's going to follow me, it's going to try and hit me. Unfortunately, if I try and throw the knife, it's not going to do jack shit. So, see, as I mean, it's not doing anything yet because I haven't got any of this programmed in or blueprinted out. But, yeah, we're on the Boulevard from RE3 and it's all erratic. Why is it so erratic here? Right. As I already explained, every one of these assets is individually imported. I had to re-import each one from scratch and everything else, so all of these are all taking one instance into memory because that's how Unreal works. And then obviously I've duplicated them a gazillion times, but that won't affect like the quality or anything like that. Why is this doing this? I'm going to have to look into that eventually. So yeah, I'm going to pick Leon up now. I'm not joking. Pick it up. Oh, I love the physics. I love VR. I absolutely love it. I've been playing with it non-stop. Oh, Right, let me just pickle Leon up by his freaking throat. Nemesis style. Right, poor old Leon. Right, don't worry about him. I still haven't configured the collisions for this bloody set of walls apart from the buildings. So again, everything is where it is. I never did model any of the buildings down there or any of the buildings over in that distance, even though there is angles exist of it, there's just enough data to use them, but I might actually just throw them in anyway. So anyway, I'm just going to throw Leon. Oh shit, where did he go? He could have gone through the floor because that's all built. So, shit. What's Leon? Oh no, there he is. Oh dear. Oh, fucking hell. Yes, on September 28th, poor old Leon got tossed around like a rag doll and thrown into the stratosphere. He never made it out of Raccoon, unfortunately. So like I said, nothing can be done with this guy yet. And bearing in mind he is a low poly model, so rigging it to a skeleton is a little bit more advanced. It's going to have all kinds of weird shit happening to it. But I'll be tinkering with that. So it can do whatever the hell it wants. So again, this is all ported. Everything's ported. I think there's only like an odd few bits and pieces I didn't actually do, but obviously none of these doors go anywhere, so I fixed the collisions for this because apparently it's too far out. So these doors don't actually lead anywhere because again, I'm not got that far and moving it all, but you can see everything's there. Look around stuff. There's Ilium. It's a whole different perspective because bearing in mind when I built all of this it was all from a third person perspective, and looking at it from this perspective it's a whole different bloody thing altogether. I'm going to actually stand up now. Right, I'm going to look around a bit because again, oh god, that is so fucking small compared to what that is. But then again, when you're standing down you don't understand how the fucking scale works, do you? Yeah, see, I didn't realise the scale was that friggin' mental. I'm going to have to fix that. So as we know, we can actually see the door here, that leads up to the wooden alley. We know what happens from there. This doesn't actually have anything. I'm looking at my lamp and it's blinding me outside. So it's just... shit, that's me telly. Shit, give me gum. Yeah, so same weapon. Why are the bullets not... Wait, was I pissing around with this and then it didn't configure correctly? No, they're the bullets. There they are. Yeah, it's true because they're hitting these. But yeah, so like I say, everything's in. The bins are actually there. You just can't see them, but the bins are there. Everything's here. Everything's ported through. And like I said, it's a very surreal moment when you've built these. You've played the games, you know what the pre-rendered environment's like, but to see it from your actual perspective, looking through your own eyes, it is just so freaking surreal, which is what I've realised actually doing this. Don't worry, I'm going to get you so I can shoot you in the end, you little shit. There are no cars, I never got around to implementing cars, but everything that's in the room is all here. Everything. It just might need a bit more polish, but again, getting it in, being able to walk around it, being able to look around the streets in VR, getting to a few fisticuffs. It's all surreal. Anyway, that's that connection, because again this would be progression, but I haven't implemented it into the other map I've done, so I might do that next, but that's the progression from it. And onwards to go. So let's see if we can get the next room up. It is unreal. What Zimmer frames? Yeah, the lighting's baked. Sort of. It's just not using proper quality because, again, I'm just putting stuff in, testing, seeing what I can do with it. Same old, really. Yeah, it's UE4. Oh. Right, let's get the last thing up and running. Because, again, where was I? That's the one. Oh yeah, I forgot about the starting area. I'll do that one as well. In fact, no, let's do that one now. Because I'm pretty sure I've got that set up. It's just a few things aren't set up. Why have I got 27 unbuilt objects? Unlit object. Can't even read without my fucking glasses. Right, do you know what? I'm going to play it anyway. Let's see. Let's have a look, shall we? Before I even do it. Go back in the stream. Thank you. Yeah, it's not stream. Why does this window capture not ever stream what I want it to? Right, groove music. What the fuck? Right, okay. Now, we're in here. Once it loads. You can probably recognise the street. I never did finish this, did I? I know it needs to rebuild stuff, but yeah, the pre-renders don't show the fact that there is nothing there. But we're on the main starting area. There's no fire. I never got implemented it to it. No doors here. In fact, you can't even walk through here because I'm still frigging debating whether I'm going to do that or not. This is the whole street. I'm still walking on metal. I need to get that fixed and re-scripted. And why is the thing so erratic? What is going on? I wonder if it's something to do with Unreal. I'll have to look into that. And again, we're seeing it all from a different perspective. Like, I'm not going to be able to climb over this, but that's what you do in the game. No cars, I didn't implement them. There's some textures missing because, again, didn't get around to it. God, I really have to rebuild the lighting in this stage. Try to make it a bit dull. I need to fix the flaming normals on this so they're reversed properly. It's a bit weird being able to, like I say, again, walk through stuff, walk behind the scenes, walk around this area in particular, like, you know, a first person perspective. I haven't put anything in this because I was still experimenting. So, you know, I'm not going to be able to climb up this ladder, I'm not going to be able to do this, that and the other. Everything's in now, everything is ported. You know, I can run all the way down here. I can run all the way out of the bloody boundary if I wanted to, because I still haven't fixed this. So why is it so... I've got the physics fixed, so why am I doing this? Just because I'm going a bit more right. But then that's the end of this whole rendered environment, because that's as far as it goes, because we just don't know what's behind there, because the whole game doesn't show it. I still haven't fixed the collision. Why the fuck am I bouncing around like a fucking... Look, stop. I had this fixed. I had all of it working, so there is something that's making me bounce like a deranged fucking lunatic. I wonder if it's that bloody audio. The audio attachment. But yeah. Or maybe it's just because, again, I'm standing up. Could be the bloody reason, actually. Because I'm usually down, but yeah. It's just nice being able to see it like this from a different perspective and look at things. Looking at Raccoon City in a whole different way. Unfortunately, we're not going to be climbing up things and stuff's missing because, again, pre-rendered environments don't give me everything all the way up, so I can only build what I can bloody see, which, as you can tell, in some instances, isn't a lot, because, again, that whole chunk's missing because you never see that bit. So it's adding on a whole new element, as it were. Anyway, let's get the last room booted up. The majority of it is just combination of stuff I found. Primarily, it's a lot of Gmod textures. A lot of it I rebuilt myself, and a lot of it is, well, later stuff is Substance Painter. But I never had access to it, and I was working on most of these older rooms. I can't show the hospital or the clock tower because I haven't got them ported yet. I didn't even know if I was skillful enough with it, to be honest with you. When I started doing this, it was literally because I thought, I'm going to be doing VR, I might as well do something with this. Because, let's face it, it's my bloody stuff. So the last one I'm going to show is a room I've just literally finished building, because it's the Dead Factory. So at least I can show some part of the Dead Factory. This was the first room I actually started working on, so I will show that now. Oh God, I've got the fucking bullets in here. Did I put the bullets in? I've actually got the handgun bullet. I might just do it. Hang on, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it in. So I've actually got... Oh my God, they're fucking huge! Do you know what? We'll leave it in for comedy. We'll leave it in for comedy effort. I actually modelled this years ago, but you know, I'm going to leave it in for comedy. So let me get this last one up. Yeah, it's still on the wrong bloody thing. There we are. Right, bear with me while I get my head back on. So this is the last room I actually worked on. This is the Dead Factory emergency tunnel. Oh, now the collision's still fucking playing up. I wonder if it is the audio. Ooh, right, anyway, let's just pick up my comical bullets. This is actually something I modelled years ago. Oh, Jesus wept. Oh dear. I am going to actually do a VR video just where I'm picking up shit and punching fucking character models just for the shits and giggles. Yeah, they're not actually that big. I'm just a bit crazy when it comes to stuff. I'll just leave you there. So yeah, this is with Substance Painter, so you can tell with some of the texture in here. This is all custom done in Substance Painter for these latter ones. That's just me testing my physics out, because when I first did all of this, I actually started flying through the boundaries because I hadn't set up the collisions correctly. But this is like the last literal room I actually worked on, and I got it ported like to begin with. So this is the only thing I'm working on now is the chemical freaking room where Nemesis's corpse falls and turns into the fuck off monster you fight in the rail cannon room, which is 2 rooms that way. So obviously up there, that's the not the control room, the radio room. I get them 2 mixed up, so that's there. There is actually transparency on the glass, and yes, why is it doing this? Oh, you piece of shit! It was all fixed. It just had to glitch, didn't it? But as soon as you get close to the glass, you can see it starts to flicker. But it is glass textured and everything. Again, I don't know what is outside of there. You never see what's outside of there because, again, we're seeing this all from a different perspective. We know that there's all the shit down there, but you never see what exactly is down there, so it just eludes me. But this is every asset ported as it should be. I mean, obviously, this door won't lead anywhere because I haven't built that yet. I haven't got any climbing implemented, so I can't go up there. But then again, this was the first room I was tinkering with to make sure that, you know, all the collisions worked. I could actually walk round it. I could look at it in VR like this and like that. So yeah, this is literally what I've been working on for today. There should have been a little bit more, but like I said, because I've been working, I haven't had the time to really add more in. It's just a small little work in progress I'm doing. And you know, it's all because of Resident Evil 4 VR. I started playing that, got addicted to the fucking VR-ness of it all and how they could port that game into VR. And I'm like, well, I've got a whole fucking game I could port. Let's see if I can do it. So yeah, that's kind of where this project's come from, because I've got the assets in fuck tons. Because everything here is mine. It's like, yeah, might as well fucking give it a shot. I've even done the collisions for this because I can actually show this with this. Pick it up and let's do it as a joke. I want to do it. I'm gonna pick it up. I actually made it so that you can actually put stuff in the item box, so the collisions should all just there you go. Yeah, it actually fits in the item box. So I can, that's yeah, see what I mean? I've got it so I can actually put stuff in the item box. Because I just fixed the collisions on it. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's how my September the 28th's gone. I've been in Raccoon City. I've done everything that nobody else will ever be able to do. And I'll probably do a little bit more when I get the time to put everything else, because I do want to walk around the clock tower. I do want to walk around the entirety of the Dead Factory. I do want to walk around the streets of Raccoon from my own perspective, like I said before. Building these things from a third-person perspective is one thing. Understanding how I built stuff, going through my streams and seeing me build it, fair enough. But to actually see it in front of my own eyes in VR, it's a whole freaking different experience. Because one, I can start to see where I might have screwed up in one way or another with the actual modelling aspect of stuff, which is ironic considering. Oh dear God. That's just so oversized and comical. It's fucking brilliant. I wonder if I can punch it. Oh, I've got to punch it now. Oh no, I'm punching my screen. Come here. Right, let. See if I can punch box bullets. Oh Jesus. Oh, I did want to end with this stream by having Nemesis from RE3 and just beating the absolute shit out of him, just being like, this is for all the fucking shit you put me through as a fucking teenager playing this game, putting the shits up me, but unfortunately I didn't get the time to get the mesh extracted. Oh, I might do that in another stream, but I might consider keeping this project going on, because like I said, I've got the rooms to work with. Could even do the hospital. I've even got all the Hive party because I rebuilt all that, so I wouldn't mind actually walking around the Hive from a first person perspective and just getting to grips with how it worked, like geometry wise. But again, the problem is looking at it from this perspective, you start to see where, some of the stuff I cocked up with, obviously stuff you weren't supposed to see. I mean, like for example, I did model that, but I haven't actually modelled the underneath of it. You just can't see that. It's like there, if you look at the pipe, you can actually see it's got no part to it. So you start to see stuff, obviously, where I was like, well, it's a pre-rendered environment. I'm modelling it with the renders in mind. They're not going to see anything. A bit like that pipe down there. So yeah, that's the fun I've been up to, whilst everybody's been modding and I've been doing Project Starlight work, and while I've been working on whatever the hell else I'm working on, I've been tinkering with this as well, like a maniac, and learning a bit of VR on the side, and yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's my September the 28th in a nutshell. Hey, if it'll inspire people to pick up manual modelling and do it, do it. Like I said, when I did this, it was literally for experimentation. I was literally sat there. I mean, I can show. I wonder if I could get it implemented. Then it's a different. I might be able to do it. Let's see if I can do it. Because obviously these aren't the only. This is just because I got it all working in this project. I've actually got more projects on here than I really should do, but. Where was it? Time. I've got a bit of time. I suppose I can show it if I can get it up. There it is. Yes, everyone can probably see. Oh, is that Resident Evil 1.5 there? Yes, I was experimenting. Leave it there. That's where it'll stay. But who knows? It might actually happen. Oh, for fuck's sake, will you piss off with all that shit saying there isn't enough space? There's plenty of space for it to work. I don't know if I'm going to release this stuff. Like I said, I don't want to because of all this shit that happened. I'd have to talk with Sam about that and see what he says. I'm going to show him all this after. He might approve of it. He might even want me to do it as this. I don't know. And I don't want to go making promises, really. Yeah, I did actually part this. This is all be, again, substance painted. So this is the cabin from the clock tower of the park. This one I actually did with first person things. I was walking around it and shit. I know I've done it with one of the clock tower rooms as well, but this one was just like a small room. I'll port it and see if it'll work. I don't actually know. No, it's using the basic motion controller pawn. I'll have to bring my actual one in. I don't know if I can do that though, can I? Let's have a look. No, this is the fucking... No, I don't want to do that. Oh. Let's get import it. That's making a new one, isn't it? I wonder if I can import it. I've never really done Unreal 4. I've done enough Unreal 2K 4 because that's what I was on uni. UE3 had only just come out when I was finishing, so this is a whole different ball game for me. Because I'm used to doing BSP cuts, not importing everything as a static mesh and then building all the collisions manually. That was all done with PP brushes, but then back then it's not the same now. Can I import my... Please tell me I can... No, it's FPX or everybody, ain't it? Oh, I can't show it. Because the fucking... Because this version of the controller pawn isn't mine. It's not the one I'm working with now, so it won't work. Silas literally will fly through the geometry, but I have got this ported in. And it is using Substance Painter, as you can see, because all of this is normal mapped and it's immersive and everything. It's all bumping out. So that's when I started using Substance Painter with later models. I'm doing it with every single room now. It's just I've become a bit more lazy and lax with stuff, but that I can't show it as much as I'd love to because the controller pawn for this isn't the one I'm using currently that works, which sucks. But yeah, that's in as well. I just haven't got a way of showing it in VR. Yeah, the thing with Rod Lima's variation is that he did it all from a third person. A lot of these remakes are using third person stuff, and that's a piece of piss easy. When you're doing VR, there's a lot more work involved because you just don't seem to realise just how much work is responsible for it. It's like even trying to do a simple opening. It's like you're having to look at how physics are applied to where your character is, where your hand position is, whether you got the position where the collision is for when you're pushing a door. It needs to know everything, whereas in third person you can literally implement it so you press a key button and the door opens. It's all different when you're doing VR. You've got to literally understand how the collisions work. You need to get positions for your vectors and all that bollocks just so you can actually get the door to open. And that's the only downside to working in VR, because other than that it has been a lot of fun. I've never really done Substance Sample. Like I said, I have literally only started using Substance Painter as of... God, was it last year? Was it this year? I can't even remember. Was it this year I started using Substance Painter? I think it might have been the beginning of this year. It might have been the end of last year. Recently though, bloody hell, we've gone to red. That's a first. I think I'll shut Unreal down. It might be the reason why. Just save it. Right, so it's gone down to 0 kilobytes, but I am still here. Okay. Right, I've switched off Unreal. Come on. There should be no drop frames. It's saying it's red, but I am still here. Oh, now it's gone back to green again. Thank Christ for that. Right. I know jack shit about blueprints. It's all new to me, because with Unreal, if you ever had to do anything adjusted, you had to write everything in C++. Everything. You still do, but this is just like, it gives you a whole framework to work in, which I've been slowly learning. But when it was like doing bullets and how to make the gun fire, it's like I know how to actually write the code for that, because I actually did that project in uni. I actually had to make a gun fire bullets. So I had to write all the code at the decay rating at the end so it wouldn't start over spawning and everything. So that wasn't implemented in this. I had that in manually. So that's why when the bullets are fired in what I've shown you, they disappear after about a minute, second or two. It's just to make way for other resources. But again, I've only just started delving into Unreal 4. I've never really used 4. I've never really used 3. Christ, the only thing I ever did with 3 was building one of the rooms from Dino Crisis 2, but that was before we even accessed the pre-rendered camera data, and we still go for Dino Crisis 2. So that was me spitballing it. Yeah, I can't squeeze UE5 into this bloody thing. I can run VR despite the fact that it says that it's on minimum spec on my MetaQuest, and it's like, yeah, but I can still run it. It's bullshit. I can still run it. It's because the Oculus never actually whitelisted my graphics card. So I can still run it, as I've proven. I can still do VR stuff on it. No, the stock VR template needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of customization to get at what you've got. Like, a lot of what you've just seen is literally what I've had to like record and readjust for it to pick up my own for a door, picking up the pistol, dropping the pistol, grabbing Leon, shooting. It's all been customised. The stock one isn't good enough. You need to actually add on to it and adjust it to your own needs. It's like there's a few bits and pieces I still need to do with mine. Yeah. I've got a AMD Red Dragon, which is an RX 550. We've just got 4 gigs of VRAM, so it's pretty good for what I need it to do, and I'm not trying to do like 4K, 8K ray trace bollocks, and I just don't give a shit about ray tracing. I've done enough ray trace renderings over the years that it's just like, ray tracing. Yeah, you've got a lot of tutorials to go through. See, that's one of the other things. I refuse to literally buy the stuff because I know there is a set of doors you can get on the marketplace that allow you to use like lock keys and stuff. I'd rather learn and do my own. I don't want to be buying assets, although it depends. I don't know. It depends how I feel. If I want to really push this project a little bit more, I might buy it, but I'd rather not. I'd rather sit there and just script it myself. It's like I've still got to script the bullets, so it actually runs out of bullets after 18, but then again I've still got to try and get the... Everyone says that Barry's pistol's the Samurai Edge, but the Samurai Edge was always Jill's default handgun from the third game. And I'm still going to stand by that. I don't care what people say, that is the original Samurai Edge. Oh, they started getting out of sync when that remake came along. So I'll be trying to extract that and then try and extract the sound, and I'll change it to RE3 stuff. But like I said, if I end up going a bit more crazy, it is, as long as you've got everything and you've got the time and the will to learn stuff. Like that zombie with the animation, which I still need to tweak with, that's all done with AI. Eventually that thing will chase me, and then I'll try and get the original animations done from the original game, and it'll look more authentic. But I'm also like to blame that Boneworks mod for Metal Gear Solid for this, because as soon as I saw that I thought, do you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I could do that with RE3, and I kind of went and did it. Sort of. Still a lot of work I have to do with it. But yeah, I've had fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it actually. Which is surprising, because it's me we're talking about here. I said I would never look into doing it. I got sick and tired of all the shit I went through with it, and I thought, why not? Do it as a little project. Put it up on September the 28th. Unfortunately, it didn't have as much done as I wanted it to, because I wanted it to be like a full walkthrough from there all the way up to the road to the RPD, but that never happened. Just because the amount of work I've had to do with the VR, getting the doors to open, realising that again some of it isn't going to be the right size or the scale, then try to rescale it, then standing up and realising I've made it too frigging unscale for when I'm actually standing up as opposed to sitting down. It's been a learning curve. No, I've never heard of that one. Rather rig my own stuff. Then I know it actually is rigged, and I've done rigging for a good few years, so I know how to do it all. But I'm all rigged with my own stuff. I've done it for years. I always rig my own stuff that I know how it works, how to set it up, and I had to do that in uni, and also, I'm just using all the skill sets I've got and just applying it to this. Though it is a pain in the ass trying to rig a 700 polygon plus model of a zombie. It's a very weird thing. I only realised that yesterday when I stood up. I was like, Christ, that door frame's way too small for my bloody head. I'm walking right through it. I'm 5'11" for Christ's sake. So it's like, I wonder if it's just literally because of the meta quest or it's something completely different. I wouldn't know. I've only literally started tinkering in this. Oh dear. So when people are going to ask me, why have you not been doing your Project Starlight, or why have you not been working on the next Raven the Dead Factory, it's because I've been doing this in VR and it's kind of taken over my brain. But it is a very weird thing, is VR scale. I just didn't realise how weird it was till I stood up and I was like, wait a minute, this is too small now. Oh god. I'm used to the default one for us. For actual scale, so I had to learn. It was one of the things I had to learn, was rigging a custom character I built myself, and that was a pain in the ass. But then again, that was then. This is now. I've learned a lot more since then. 12 years on, you kind of pick up little bits and pieces and you find it quicker. And bearing in mind, I've worked with polygon models ranging from standard remakes, so we're talking character models back around 8,000, to some custom modded Nemesis model I found which was 50,000, plus standard polygonical model for the remake Nemesis is 99,000 polygons, and they say that's a low poly model, and that's bullshit because that's not low poly at all. I've seen lower. I've worked with stuff on Persona, I've rigged the Outbreak stuff, and that's a few thousand polygons, but you need the cutscene models for those because the low poly ones that you use in game are a little bit too fiddly. Nope, that's just me literally on a black screen. I've got nothing to load. I switched off Unreal because it was desyncing. It desynced quite a bit, so I decided just to switch it all down, so it's now on green. So there's nothing loading. I showed everything off I wanted to, really. I've got nothing else to show. I've not been working on RE3 Revisited that much. I've not been working on Project Starlight a lot. And I hope to Christ when they see this, those guys don't say, oh, could you port it all like this so we could have a VR version of Resident Evil Guide? And I'd be like, no, don't ask me to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much fucking work. I don't even want to look at it at the minute. Oh, God almighty. It was literally an experiment with RE3. It was literally an experiment just to see if I could get it working in VR, and yes I have, and I'm going to be sat there tweaking it and adjusting it, and eventually it'll be turning into some bloody prototype that I said I never wanted to do. So that's just the nature of these things. So that was an interesting stream. Unfortunately, there just isn't a lot more to show because, again, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. I had to just literally throw it together and be like, oh, it's September the 28th today. What have I got to show? For fuck's sake. I've got stuff to show. It's just not all fully compiled. Yeah, I'll probably keep going with it. Get the clock tower all ported. Then watch how I have to look at the destroyed versions and cry a little inside seeing it. I hate smashing up my own work. It's the one thing I hate doing, but I've got to do it. But if it makes people inspired, if it does... Yeah, I've almost finished uploading all of them and all. Should have really done that today, but I'll do that on Friday. So I'm trying to think what I've got to upload left. I know it's all Clock Tower stuff. I know I've got those two from the main haul I did. Never did upload those ones on YouTube. I've got the ones of the hospital rooms, but not all of them, because that's when my computer started playing up and then I couldn't bloody stream anything, and then obviously after that, that's it. Because everything after that is done. So yeah. Still got all of that stuff too. God, what have I got to do for a revisit apart from that chemical room? Entrance to the monitor room itself. The little back passage that leads to the rail cannon room, and then the helicopter ending thing, and then that's those core rooms done, and it's the broken rooms, it's the graveyard after the grave digger. I've still got to do that other room I need to do, which is a special case one, which I will get to. Yeah, I don't want to try doing that with my rooms yet. I think if I did that, it'd be a bit too surreal for me. I like to walk around stuff that I kind of know from a game, but I don't think I'll be doing it for where I'm living. It'd just be a bit too surreal. I'd end up wearing the frigging headset and be like, oh, I'll just walk around with this on my head, sit on my bed and read a book. I know in my bloody look, I'd end up having to port the frigging book into 3D with every page printed just so it could be realistic. See, that's the thing when you do that, you have to build your own assets, and it takes time and everything else. I've got a whole frigging museum I'm going to just upload. I'll do that on another stream where I'll just be putting every asset I've done over the years in just one bloody big room on tables, which I want to do in VR because that'd be quite interesting. So much fun you can have with VR, and I never knew how much fun it would be until I actually got my MetaQuest, so I'm happy I got that. It's the best £400 I ever invested because I'm getting so much out of it. Way too much out of it at the moment though. Yeah, do it. If it's for archiving, do it. A lot of the reasons why I'm going to be doing that is for archiving all of my work. Like its own little portfolio in a sense, so like you'll be able to look at it and pick things up and look at it from every perspective. So that's just an idea I'm floating around in my own head at the minute. Then I've got other ideas of what I want to do in VR, but I'll get around to it. I'll put a pin in it and I'll look at it later and be like, oh, I might do that, I might not, I don't know yet. But if that's what you want to do it. Like I say, if I can inspire somebody to do it, then fair enough, do it. And have fun with it, because I know I've had a lot of fun doing this. I have a lot of fun doing everything I do. That's why I do it. It's very weird this. Usually Elric will come in and he'll start his little debate about doorknobs and door handles. He hasn't turned up yet. But then again, when I stream, it's usually in the afternoon, not in the evening, so he's probably busy. In fact, I think it'll still be early morning where he is. Oh. Feels weird without him here, actually. I say that, and I bet you about the next 5 minutes he'll pop in, randomly say something, and then randomly walk out, but he probably won't. Which would be a shame. But yeah, do that. Have a lot of fun with it. That's all I really do. That looks raining out there as well. That was another thing I said I was going to implement, and that was raining. I never got round to doing that. That'll be the next thing I need to look at. How to do rain in VR, which will all be done with emitters. Or you attach the emitter to the character so that it constantly plays, gives the impression of it, rather than have it rendered outside of it, which saves on resources, because I'm going too technical and I shouldn't be going technical at this time, and I should be settling down. I can stay on for a little bit longer. About an hour and 20. I can do that. It's on 54 now, but I'll stay around for a little bit longer. I don't mind. People want to ask questions, they can do. I don't mind. Because I've gone over what I wanted to stream today. was a lot. Can't believe I went through all those rooms. I wish I had more to show, but unfortunately I just don't have the time to port stuff, because getting everything in, reporting where everything is in position and proximity is to where it is in my original room, because again I'm not importing the entire mesh as one whole thing, I'm rebuilding it all in Unreal, so it's all like using the advantages of the Unreal Engine, and that when you're loading one asset, one static mesh, it only loads that one instance into memory, so every time it's duplicated it only ever goes onto that one instance that's in memory. So you can have 100 of those barrels in there and it will only load that one into memory and follow that one through. The other 99 it doesn't give a shit about, because it's always gone off that one instance, which means it's good for optimization, and that's why I like Unreal so much. A lot of fun in that one. Just trying to think if there's anything I can show really. Can't really show anything from Revisited because I haven't had time to sit down and freaking do it, and I don't have the time because I need to really settle down because I got to be up for work in the morning because my shifts have changed. So I'll be doing Resident Evil 3 Revisited stuff on Friday, and then I'll probably try and do a Project Starlight stream at the weekend. I don't know which day yet. Then for Halloween I haven't got a bloody clue what I'm going to do, but it probably involve me carrying on building this up, probably walking around a bit more of Raccoon itself. I wouldn't mind walking all the way up Ennerdale Street, all the way to the RPD. I won't be able to go in the RPD because I never modelled those rooms. Though I am still putting the pin in the Resident Evil 2 Revisited project if I can garner enough interest for doing it, but that's another project entirely after I finish Revisited for free. Which again isn't that far off. I'm still learning Maya. I haven't fully learned it. I've been modelling this way now, well, modelling Maya for over 12 years. I'm still modelling in it now. I have done a bit of 3ds Max because I'm out to rigging that. I hate Max's interface though, so I don't use it. I've done work in Blender. I've even gone back, as people have known, I've tinkered with Softimage 3.7 I think it was, which is the original modelling tool that Capcom and a lot of companies did in the 90s, built all their assets with pre-rendered and character models. So I've gone over so many different 3D programs, it's ridiculous, including Cinema 4D as well. But I was getting my head round how to give like rooms a pre-rendered look, which I've now managed to emulate in Maya, so it's like, it's fair enough. But yeah, 12 years I've been working in Maya. And I'm still picking things up. I wouldn't say I've mastered it, because there's always something I'm picking up. I just do what I do. And have fun with it. Yeah, I can remember like the older days of Blender. You had the interfaces for like all the different 3D apps, so you could load it in Maya, you could load it in Blender and Max, and you could still do that now because you can still use the interfaces, but it was a very, very primitive version of them back in the day. But I know that there was a script years ago for like an older version that when you ran the script, it converted Blender into Maya and the interface changed to it. It doesn't work like the newer ones, but that was pretty cool at the time. But nah, it's never been updated for the newer ones, I don't think. But I can comfortably work in it, pick up a few things on tutorials, build a few things up here and there. So I know how to do it in Blender as well as my Max. All those bloody things. Blender isn't bad because again it's free. It has its moments, it's got a whole bunch of tools and utilities, and then Maya you have to pay all the friggin' subscription and everything bloody for. Absolute madness. So I can understand why a lot of people want to work in Blender because of it being free and everything. It's just that there isn't a lot of plugins for it. Like the ones I use to build every asset I've done for this project, it's a set of tools that Fair enough, my friend who was writing at the time wrote it for Blender, but he also wrote it for Maya as well for my benefit, and then wanted to murder me after it, and he vowed never to do it again. Oh, God, that was a crazy set of years, but yeah. Blender's alright. I don't mind Blender. Yeah, once you've got all the basics down, it's fine. It's just like with me, I can look at an object and go, right, that's how it should look. That's the sort of asset we need to build. It needs to be this object. We need to do this. I need to do that. It's better to just look at it, break it down. Whatever the object is you're modelling, break it down into the most simplest forms and then build those and then go from there. That's how I do a lot of modelling. That's how I build a lot of the stuff I do. Even though you don't see it, that's how I do it. Literally break it down into the primary shapes, is build those primary shapes and then just work from there outwards. Although you can probably see that in a lot of the streams I've done, but that's how I do it. Absolutely hated it. The irony is I absolutely hated doing 3D modelling back in the day, and I've just kind of adapted to it and enjoyed it way too much, so I've just embraced it. But I never used to like 3D modelling. I absolutely hated it at one point. Vowed never to do it. And now I'm still doing it. And now I don't mind doing it. So it's been an uphill struggle for me, really. Yeah. Yeah. Once you get the basics down, you'll be fine. Then eventually you'll go crazy and think, oh, do you know what? I might even start building a Gundam while I'm here. Yeah, always find a way of looking at stuff and how you can improve on it. Especially if you start increasing your poly budget, which is what I learnt from doing 1.5 stuff, because that was only a poly budget of, I think I only had 100,000 to work with, and then obviously with 3 I visited. Yeah, it's just a cold that's going around. I'm fine, don't worry about it. Thanks anyways though. It's just a cold that's going around. Always happens when the seasons change, and since obviously summer's now officially over in the UK, it's now autumn, so come down with a cold. But yeah, there's always room for improvement, and I've learnt that with my own work. Especially with 1.5, like I said, restricted to 100,000, and then obviously with 3 visited 250,000 for all the major assets, so it was like, oh, I can do a little bit more detail now. I can do this, I can do that. Off we go. Oh, City Hall in VR. Ooh, walking around that in VR. Walking around the Raccoon Press in VR. In one full room. Now that would be interesting. Oh God, I gotta stop thinking about these things. I'll end up doing it. But that would be fun too. Oh dear God. You know what, ever since I started doing this VR stuff, I've been looking, like watching TV shows and movies, and I've been like, you know what, I'd love to model some of these rooms and walk around in VR, because then they are archived and preserved. But then I started thinking, oh, I could do VR assets now, and I could sell those VR assets online. Could do it with rooms too. Hell, if I'm really going to be that crazy, I could even make a whole new set of rooms for the Meta Quest, even though technically the app's still called Oculus on Windows, but I could do it for that, because you've got your own little homes you can build. Exactly, and that's the problem with me when I start looking at what I could do. It's like, oh wait, but you've got these other projects doing. It's like, I can get round to those. It's like, I got to try and integrate them and have a bit of time to do it. So this is why I have to start allocating time to when I'm going to do stream for Resident Evil 3, stream for doing Project Starlight, streams when I'm playing games, and then streams of not me doing anything in VR, because I'll leave that for myself, but who knows. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to end up doing. I know I am. I'll end up looking at like rooms. I'll be like, right, I'm going to take this TV show, I'm going to build this room. and then I'm going to walk around it in VR because this is what it would have been like. See, it's got its own little perk as well. VR, you can literally, just like I've been showing, you can walk around in the environment. If you've modelled the environment from a third person, as soon as you stick that headset on, it's from a different perspective altogether, and it's like, oh shit. Because you've never done that before. But I have been reading, and there is actually VR plugins for Maya and what have you. I would love to be able to walk round like that Rebel frigate at the beginning of A New Hope in Star Wars. That's one thing I'd love to do in VR. The other thing would be to walk around the Death Star. The other thing would be, I don't know, building some of the rooms up from the USS Enterprise from the original Star Trek TV show. And I actually have built those, so that would be interesting to walk around in VR. I might actually do that, I know. Oh no, I've got to stop with ideas. The ideas are there, the assets are built, I could do it. But that would actually be interesting. Photogrammetry. So that's the thing with directors when they were making movies. Obviously, we didn't have the tech then. We didn't have 3D cameras and all that crap. And it's like, just think what it'd look like. Just think what we could do if we had that tech back then. If people were actually filming everything from every angle, being able to walk around the streets of LA and Blade Runner, that would be brilliant. I've really got to stop tempting myself to do that. I'm not going to do that. Walking around the entirety of that military training facility in Dino Crisis 2. Walk around Dryfield from Parasite Eve 2. I've really got to stop coming up with ideas. I don't want to be doing that. I've really got to stop thinking of these ideas, but I'm going to go and do it, aren't I? It's what we do. So much potential, so much capability, so much crazy. I wish I could have shown that bloody last room off now. I feel really bad. But then again, it wasn't using the right controller script I'd built, so I couldn't really show it. But if I get it functional and get it ported properly, I will show the cabin. In fact, I'll be able to open the door and go in the save room. So I might do that. But that'll be for much later on, because I do want to try and get all these rooms ported in and walk around them in VR perspective, just to get a much different perspective from it. Oh, now that sounds interesting. See, that's the miracles of technology. I've been able to do that. Like, fair enough, if you've got a camera, you can go like with my phone, what have you, take pictures of that you're going to build. But having that kind of tech as well, you wouldn't have to really take that many pictures, if that makes sense. You just have it all there, and you could be like, build, done. Not like it was back in the day, where if you wanted something, you have to take it from every angle, and then you build it with those in mind. And there isn't many websites that do that now, and that sucks. Or it was blueprints as well. That's what made modelling fun, is when you had blueprints and you had to go looking for them, and it was like, you hope to God you could find blueprints for the stuff you wanted to model, because if you didn't have them, you were buggered. Nowadays, though, you got your 3D scanning tech, you've got, your photogrammetry and all that kind of stuff, and it just makes stuff a lot easier. But I think 3D scan just makes us much lazier as artists, because of the fact that it's 3D scan. That's it. You don't have to do any of the hard work that you would have done years ago. And it's like, then what's the point of us 3D modelling stuff if we're not making it? If we're letting the machine scan it, which fair enough is all done with all the different cameras and it taking pictures at various angles and then doing all the algorithming. That's why I won't get into that sort of stuff. I don't like the concept of a 3D scanner system scanning everything. It just takes the fun out of building. It takes the fun out of, looking at what your asset is you want to build and then breaking it into bits like I do and then building the friggin' thing. It just takes the fun out of it. That's my opinion anyway. I should have put some music on after that stream, but I just didn't think of that, did I? Oh dear. Nah, it has its uses. It has its uses. I wouldn't use it on principle that I just like to build everything that I can see using my eyes to do it. That's the way I've always done it. It's yeah, fair enough. It's the results are brilliant, but I don't like the way it looks because some of it comes off as incredibly uncanny and weird, and it freaks me out because the more we go that way, the more we have the uncanny valley effect, and the more we have that, the more freaked out I would be about playing games because it'd be getting too realistic, and I don't want that. That's why I play games, to break away from the realism. What we're going to end up with is bloody Ready Player One, and I don't think any of us are ready for that yet. Everybody running around wearing a fucking MetaQuest on their head. It'd be cool though if we could use the MetaQuest tech and we could actually use that to scan things with. That would be cool. That would be cool with building stuff. You wanted to make it incredibly accurate, like being able to scan stuff like from a point, and then it just outputs how big it should be in terms of the scale units in real life, which means everything you'd build would be at the scale in terms of the game world, and it'd be a little bit more accurate. But that's just an idea that's floating in my head, along with every other crazy little idea I've got flowing around in there at the minute. I don't mind shine, it's all good. Yeah, see, it's how you do it. And Christ, distance me, fucking hell. That would be pretty damn accurate. That's the thing though, innit? It's like, if you're building a real world reference, you've got to make sure everything is accurate one to one, because as soon as you start building, like I've learned with a few things, it's like, why is this a little bit longer than it should be? Why is this shorter? Oh, it gets to be a pain. I think I mentioned that quite a bit in streams. When things look bigger, then they look smaller, and it's like, oh shit. Again, walking through a door frame at 5'11", and it doesn't fit you in VR standing up, I'm gonna have to adjust everything. Size everything with that. I can't help it. I'm so used to sitting down and doing it. I need to rest my feet, but oh dear. It is fun. I've had so much fun just picking it up and then putting it in VR and shooting things, and I see why people enjoy it, but I still think we've got a long way to go with having VR as like usable. Yeah, fair enough, there are some good games that utilise it, but again, tech needs to improve. It can't just fundamentally cover like one finger and then the three are all covering another. You need to be able to cover each individual finger and thumb to make it a lot more immersive, and then you got to make it so that if you're climbing things or holding a wall, you can do it with all your fingers and all that. And then to end it off, to make it truly immersive, you've got to make it so that when you're holding things, you can smell it, you can sense everything. It's just tricking senses. That's the last thing you need to do, because once you've got all that with VR, that's it. You don't really need a real environment to walk around. You can just simulate it all, and you won't be able to tell the difference. Well, you've seen what's happened with mine. It's all gone to hell in a handbasket. The best thing to do is when you're doing it, make sure you're standing up whilst you're looking around the room, and then you will be able to make it accurate. Don't do a me. Don't just sit there and think, oh, it looks fine. Yeah, technology is going nuts. We need it to really evolve, and VR does have its moments though. It does have potential. It just needs to be adapted a lot better so we can do a lot more with it. Eventually we'll even need to frigging walk around properly. We'll all be walking around with headsets the next 20 years. We won't need a bloody set of that proper eyes. We'll be just doing Ready Player One and that'll be it. we'll all be logged into the friggin' Oasis. We won't be able to log out. It'll be like the sequel. We'll be jacked in, and that'll be it. It'll be like in the bloody Matrix. My God, it's all predicted. I've never. Oh, don't tell me you can play Gary's mod in VR, because I've only just recently started playing Half-Life 2's VR mod, and that was mind blowing as it was. I think I could handle Gary's mod in VR. It's bad enough without the VR. Oh, I want to go and play Half-Life 2 in VR now as well. That's pretty ambitious, but for a free frigging mod, it's actually brilliant, but I still need to play it properly all the way through. I only played about an hour and a half on it, but my God, does it make the game much better. But no, I don't think Gary's mod VR, that's the limit I won't touch. I think I'd go a bit crazy if I was standing around in that thing. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I need to carry on playing in VR, but that one's cool as hell. And there's even a mod for the MetaQuest itself which allows you to play the original Half-Life with VR support, and I'm tempted just to get that on there, because I've been playing the Doom part, and that's bloody crazy enough running around that in the original Doom. I remember when it was pretty stable actually, so it must have got a hell of a lot quicker. That thing was too surreal. The problem is, if I actually did start playing that in VR with it being a sandbox, I wouldn't come out of it. You wouldn't see me again. People would be worried about me because they're like, why has he not been doing his streams? Oh, I'm in the sandbox. I'm in Gary's mod. I'm not coming out. I've never used VR chat. It keeps popping up on my MetaQuest. It keeps popping up on the actual app when I boot it up on my computer, and I'm like, nah, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. It looks obscure, but I might look into it at some point in the future. I don't know yet, because I'm still getting used to that flaming, like the VR aspect of stuff, and being able to do like VR games and stuff. Like, there's a lot of games, because I've got the PSVR as well, so there's a lot of games that I've been buying up and testing with the VR headset, and some of them are alright, some of them are very disappointing. So when it's like, oh, I can actually run the stuff on my computer with my flaming MetaQuest, it's like, ooh, I can actually do VR properly now. So yeah, I'm still playing for a few. But it is cool the fact that I might potentially be able to get Half-Life Alyx and actually finally play that fucking thing. I'd be really happy to play that. If it can run on my PC, that is, because apparently you need a really beefy rig. See, you call it VR chat. I see the Oasis just in those words. I don't want to be doing that. I'll end up going around saying Ready Player One was right. Oh. I might do it. I might test it to see how it works. I just don't think I'll be making environments, because I'll end up bloody doing Resident Evil or something obscure like that. Tell you another thing that's weird is try to use the Unreal Engine in VR, because I didn't even realise you could do it because it's experimental, but you can actually do VR work with the Unreal Engine. That's blowing my frickin' mind. Ah, that's alright then. I'd still be running around saying Ready Player One was right though. I might have to look into it. I mean, it keeps popping up on my MetaQuest. It keeps popping up on Oculus's own app when I boot it up on Windows. It's like, oh, I might look into it. I don't know. It depends on what it's. I feel like it's where it is. Yeah, well, I'll put my hand up in the air and say yes, I am as well. But that's why I stream. It just helps. It helps me, getting my anxiety down. That's the primary reason why I stream, is to get my anxiety levels down. So I can relate to that. Because I used to stutter quite a bit when my anxiety was really, really bad, until I went through therapy for it. And yeah. Still do it now because like I say, it helps me control my anxiety quite a lot when I stream. Whether I'm doing my game streams or whether I'm doing my 3D stuff, I just do it. So it just helps my anxiety levels just drop. Yeah, that's the thing as well. I mean, I know the Meta Quest itself is pretty versatile bit of hardware, but when you're looking at it, it's like, well, in order to get other things, you have to connect it to your actual computer to do it. It's like, ugh, well, it's a pain in the ass, isn't it? But then again, it's a tech, in it? It's what's built into the headset itself. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've noticed that a lot with a few of the apps, though. It's better to play it on the PC version rather than the MetaQuest version, because the MetaQuest only has such a spec that you can work to. I don't even know what the spec is, to be honest with you, because I haven't really looked into the specs really. I'd love to know them, then I could actually start porting stuff and see if I could get that all that RE3 stuff working without actually having it plugged into my computer to do it. Yeah, best thing to do. Why I do it now. It literally is just to control my anxiety because it can get really bad, so I just do streaming and it's worked so far. But it's also just to make people aware that I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to 3D stuff, as you've seen, walking around punching bloody boxes of bullets and picking up poor old Leon and throwing him like a glorified ragdoll. It's a daily occurrence for me, that. But it is good. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy it a lot. Just helps me with anxiety. So yeah, it's because I never did do streaming for years, because I did a lot of like portrait with my 3D stuff, but I never ever did streams. And then I just decided one day to start with the streaming, but without audio. And then it got to this Resident Evil 3 project I started, and I was like, you know what, for the next half of it, I'm going to get a microphone and I'm going to start streaming with audio, and then that's where this has come on from, progression from that. And I was like, right, now I'm going to start doing all these backlogs I've got, I'm going to start doing commentary on them. Done that. That's what I've been doing, it's just running up. Next thing, it'll be the cam, but I'm not going to be doing that for a while, but as soon as I'm comfortable with having a webcam on my ugly mug, I'll go with that and all, but that's way out there. But it's getting there. I'll get there. Craig, already that time. I'm going to have to set off now. I need to get ready for work tomorrow. I need to get my lunch made. I got to have a drink. I'm going to chill out. Do everything else. So yeah. Yeah, you'll get idiots like that. You always do. I get them in the real world. I get them here. It's not a problem. Thanks for listening to it all and asking questions. But never let anybody ever come into your chat and demotivate you. You do what you do because you enjoy it. And if anybody tries to take that happiness away, they can go fuck themselves, because that's the way I do. That's the way I always think. That's my thought process. If I'm enjoying it, nobody, I don't give a shit. They become like the people I mute. I don't even acknowledge them. The people that are enjoying it, fair enough. They're the people I'm doing it for. Just think of it like that. If you're doing it for your own personal pleasure, like you are, you're building stuff up because you enjoy it, you do it because you want to do it. Don't let anybody tell you that your work's shit. Because 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't even know how to fucking do half of it. So, don't kick yourself in the ass with it. You just do what you do. And have fun with it. Yeah, you have a great one too. And keep doing your streams. Send me them. Let me look at them as well. Give me something to look at. I'll see you in the next stream, which will hopefully be the weekend, he says. No worries. We've got to work together, haven't we? We've all got to stick together. That's what we do. That's what us artists do. We stick together. We get stuff done. Right. I'll see you all later. Hopefully Saturday. He says, if the VR headset doesn't get